Alright, so we are back. So I strolled around the hub a little bit, and I decided that I would go clockwise from here, mainly because I started off going counterclockwise and visited a level below the area from before. And that was the one that I finished before I started recording, and I don't really feel like doing it over again right away. So we'll go this way first. Disarmed mimics. I know this is going to be interesting. Mimics, one of the most useful tools found in any dungeon. Who doesn't love a good mimic? Their behavior patterns are well understood. But what about a mimic without a sword? Or for that matter, a decoy without a sword? Welcome to the Disarmed Mimics Annex. Let's see, mimics slash decoys with disarm tokens slash oramites. Everyone who doesn't have a sword in their hands automatically turns in the direction they're moving. Those who have a heavy sword have to spend one turn turning it, and they don't automatically turn in the direction they're moving. The roach actually also turns in the direction it's moving. It always tries to move in a straight line towards you, and when it moves in a different direction from which it's turned, you might say it bumps the wall trying to move towards you. Yes. The guard doesn't bump the wall, and when he moves over oramites, he always turns in the direction he's moving. So he does. And needlessly endangering myself just to see what happens. When you move without a sword, you also turn in the direction you're moving, and if you're swordless and bump an obstacle or teeter on a pit slash water edge, you'll turn the direction you're trying to move. Yes, like this. Where does this go? Right here, I guess. Of course, a swordless mimic also turns in the direction it's moving, and if a mimic bumps an obstacle, it will also turn in the direction it's moving. Even though the mimic never moves, if the player bumps an obstacle, a swordless mimic will turn the direction the player is bumping, whether the player has a sword or not. So it does. Curious. Mimics that are forced to move in a different direction than the player will naturally turn in the direction they're moving, not the direction the player is moving. When both the player and the mimic are swordless, that is the only way to get the mimic to face a different direction from the player. Yeah, okay. I see where you're going with this. Since the player moves before a mimic, when you step on a disarmed token, a swordless mimic will have its sword restored in the direction it was facing before your move. See, this is the kind of stuff that pretty much never comes up in the main game. I think I've only seen like a couple rooms where you deal with disarmed clones or mimics or anything. In fact, I think just a couple days ago I learned that for the first time, that disarming you disarms everything else that is a copy of you. You're free to choose which way you want to go first, but if you're not quite sure how mimics or decoys work with disarm tokens or oramites, you should probably go east first. I think I might go ahead and do that, but what's this? Good to know. You can right-click any square in the game to see exactly what's on it. If you right-click on a character, you will also see that character's movement order, which I know that. There are some different rules of which monsters move first. For example, mimics will always move directly after you, before all monsters and characters. Mimics move in the order you place them. If they're already If there already are mimics in the room, they will move in the order the architect has placed them before the mimics you place. Fugendos always move before all stalwarts. Stalwarts always move before slayers. Slayers always move before guards, and guards always move before monsters. All monsters, however, roaches, golems, snakes, altlicks, tar mothers, etc., including half, will move and spawn in the order the architect has placed them. Interesting. When the player, a mimic, decoy, or clone, step or are placed on disarm token, all characters are affected. But if the player, mimic, decoy, or clone step on or are placed on Ormites, only the character standing on the Ormites must sheath its sword. So I think what I gotta do here is something like... So I guess, that... Oh, that's weird. So the decoy starts out armed no matter what, I suppose. This room is a little harder than the previous one. See if you can work it out. Can I work it out? I don't know. So I need to attract the goblin, I guess. I wonder... Let me see. Weird. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Try to get the mimic to turn around without turning yourself. Okay, where's this mimic going? So then we gotta... No, I think I'm using this wrong. I gotta do this. And do something like that. Bong, 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 bong. I guess I'll have a lot of checkpoints. At least we're not gonna be hearing the orb sound over and over again this time. Oops. There you go. Not so tough. I'm sure that the northern path is going to have all of the blisteringly difficult puzzles. Secret room. This room might look very complicated, but if you know what you need to do, it's not too hard. Do I know what I need to do? What is this? Lots of token rotation and stuff. And I should make sure to cover the less common elements when they crop up. I'm not sure I explained before how these guys work. But basically, as you could probably see from watching them, see, they work like serpents, but they have to be struck on their head to be killed. Huh. Okay. Well, that seems simple enough. So what's that about? I don't think we want to kill the snakes, do we? Because we want to lead them in here. See, it does look kind of complicated, but is it all that complicated? I don't know. So let me think. So if we do this, I think what we gotta do is we have to strategically trim down the size of the snakes. Yeah. Then what's the mimic potion for? What are all these all about? Well. So we need to trim the snakes down to a length of 3 each, except I guess the last one, which doesn't really appear to matter. We want to do this without affecting the snakes that are already short enough. Something like, wait, I think that these are, I guess this is the one that it doesn't matter, maybe? I think, no. This is why I should checkpoint. Still don't really know what the mimic is for. I guess that's when I go through the entire puzzle and then end up figuring out what I do need the mimic for. And then I have to restart in order to fix it. Okay, so those guys are all the same, they're the correct length. How do I get this one down without damaging the others? Maybe I should get this one instead. This may take a while. If this is indeed what I am supposed to do. But it seems like it should work. let's see. Does that work? And then let's see what happens. That seems to work. So what's the deal? What, in fact, is the deal? Ah, that would be the deal. No, I think I killed it in the wrong order. Oops. I think I can go ahead and then the mimic gets stuck in there. So you see, it wasn't so tough. It was just kind of a meandering thing to do. Alright. And I should try not to waste too much time stepping on all the potions. And I wonder what's behind those two doors. Once you step on the yellow floor, the roaches will attack you from both sides. Can you figure out how to make the mimic sword in a different point in a different direction from yours? Let's see. What we want to do is something like, there we go. You can go now. Even if the mimic sword points in a different direction than yours, the mimic will still try to move and turn in the same direction as you. Use the disarm tokens to get the mimic sword facing in a different direction than yours. And what happens if you and the mimic step on the tokens at the same time? I don't know. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Weird, okay. Then we can kind of do something in the same vein as before. Where it's a little, it's kind of like, hold on. If you wonder why it works as it does, it's because you always move before the mimic, so when he steps on his disarm token, he's already swordless, and therefore he turns the way he's moving. Very subtle. I like it. Try using just one disarm token to get the mimic sword facing in a direction that will conquer this room. Ah, I remember what it said before. If we... hold on. How do we do this? That's like... kind of, Let's see. that way. I think we actually could. It's a little less clean. It does in fact work, as long as I set it up right. This works in a similar way as I explained earlier in the hold. If you step back onto a disarm token when you and the Mimic are swordless, the Mimic will get his sword back before he even moves, and therefore he will not turn his sword in the direction he's moving. I might have made that more complicated than necessary. Probably. Oh well. Remember, mimics and decoys are always placed with their swords, even if other mimics and decoys are swordless. Challenge: clear this room without placing the decoy. Oh boy, more challenges. But hey, I think I can probably do that. Maybe. So obviously I can't step on these tokens here. So we gotta do some kind of something. Gotta do some kind of something. Oh yeah, because you don't. I think. Can we do this the same as before? I think we can. Seems kind of simple, actually. Since you're swordless, you'll turn in the direction you move. After you have moved, the Mimic will move and arm you and the decoy. I don't think I solved it the way it was supposed to be solved, so maybe let's just ignore that. Oh well. That's what they get for giving me a challenge. Exit level, secret room. That was surprisingly short. Challenge: clear this room only letting the Mimic step on the Ormites in the center of the room. Okay, so this is one of those ones where you gotta trick the turny thingy. What kind of deal is this? That's interesting. Okay. This seemed kind of simple. I mean, I can just do this. Oops. Huh. Almost got it. This is just a practice in pure mimic manipulation, I think. There's not really any particular trick to it other than that, it seems like. And we can kind of... Now we gotta figure out how to... Because it's gotta be stepping in from here, so it's kind of... And something like... there we go. And if I do... something, what exactly is this deal here anyway? Oh, whoops. Okay, I guess I kind of screwed up. Oh well. This is why it's good to pay attention. You know, I might just pass on this challenge, just because I could probably do it, but it's just kind of you know, pure mimic manipulation isn't really what I consider fun about this game, so I might just expedite the process. Besides, I'm not getting an achievement for it or nothing, so you know, whatever, right? And then we kind of gotta like with the thing and the thing. Hold on, maybe I'll get this one first. That isn't working either. We need to get kind of in sync with it. And then like, see, this is a little bit obnoxious. That. Bam. And some kind of... And then we gotta... Yeah, I don't feel too bad about missing my chance to complete the challenge, because it's a little bit of a slog, kind of messing around with this kind of thing. Alright, well, that wasn't so tough. Oops. Just kind of go around here. Yeah. Some kind of thing and stuff. I don't know, I'm just mumbling. And bit of a walk, okay. To the west you will learn about some more complex environment and movement and disarm token behaviors. Exit to the south. Well, we wanna see everything, right? We gotta see what's going on over here. What is up with this? Kind of weird. You might have wondered what'll happen if several mimics step on a disarm token at the same time. It's not too complicated, actually. You have to remember that in Draw, all moves move in turns, and if someone steps on a disarm token, it's activated instantly. It's magically added. First, you step on the disarm token, disarming yourself and all mimics. First place mimic in the orb alcove being disarmed turns in the direction it moves. Second place mimic gets its sword back as it moves on the disarm token and therefore doesn't turn. Third mimic loses its sword, turning as it moves, and so on. So I guess we gotta... And then we've got to, I presume, place the rest of them in here. For reasons that I'm sure will become clear. I think it's just for demonstrative purposes. So like, I think it just literally doesn't let us place them anywhere else. So in order to move on, we have to place them here. That's really interesting. You wouldn't expect that exactly. Mimics that are unable to move never turn their sword unless you do. But everyone that's swordless always turns in the direction they move. This is getting so complex. This part of the room works in about the same way. It will require some thinking, but I'm sure you can figure out why it works as it does. kind of wanted to see that again. I guess I'll see it in the footage. Oh well. To understand these rooms, you really have to understand how every move is divided up in turns, and you can only kill something on your own turn. You can't kill things on other people's turns. It's cheating. I really like making sure I can only point my sword in one direction. If you or Mimic, for example, have no sword on your turn but regain it later during the same move, the sword cannot kill anything. Where's this guy going? I'm guessing right here. In this room, the first place Mimic will lose his sword stepping on a disarm token, and the second Mimic will arm him again, but the first Mimic won't kill anything since its turn has already ended, and then the roach will simply step off the first Mimic's sword unharmed. Can we hold on? Weird. I kind of see what you're talking about. So if we go straight on, and if we wait a turn, we wait 2 turns, the roach will just walk straight through its sword because it doesn't have a sword for a moment. Weird stuff. And then presumably I guess I have to specifically engineer that. Is kind of a point. Okay, I gotcha. Weird. Alright. Boom. We got more of them. Before you start playing through this room, make sure you know what all pressure plates do. It'll be much easier that way. Oh boy. Okay. This one lowers this door, so these two lower these doors. And sometimes pressure plates can be a little hard to see when something is sitting on them. This one, geez, there's a lot of these. Okay. So I guess what I gotta do is place this one as usual. And this one. So I presumably have to place one here. And then place one here and one here. And then one here. Yeah, I see what they were getting at. See, the first Mimic can't kill the brain since this move since it got its sword back after its turn ended. But since Mimics will always move before monsters, the Mimic will kill the monster on its next turn before the monster moves. Although brains don't move, the principle is still up. I guess they ran out of space. Applied, presumably. Stab. So it's kind of. It's kind of unintuitive. They kind of alternate. I should just wait here. There you go. It works the same with decoys. They can only stab something in their own turn. For example, a decoy placed before a Mimic will stab an adder before the Mimic will move. A decoy placed after a Mimic stepping on a disarm token will lose its sword before it will be able to stab anything. Come on, guys. Gotta stay on the ball here. Oh well. One thing is, the rule about not being able to kill anything except on your own turn only comes up commonly in one circumstance, which is with adders. Adders are one of the rare creatures that can move through your sword, which means an adder on its own turn can charge straight through into your sword blade, and then on your turn, if you haven't moved, then your sword will hurt it, and then it'll kind of pass through. So it kind of creates a weird effect where it's a little harder to predict that way when your sword will cause harm to a, whatchamacallit, adder. Hold on. I gotcha, okay. Weird, okay. I'm saying weird a lot. I guess it's because it's weird. It is weird. Behold, the invincible clone who can survive an endless number of sword stabs. Oh, this should be good. Note from the architect, I did this room just to show how weird this behavior can get. I'm not going to try to explain it. See if you can figure it out yourself. Presumably these four all go here. Must say, so far I'm not impressed by this invincible clone. Oh, jeez, okay. Yeah, this is gonna get weird. I think it matters what order I place them in. Since they alternate, I'm guessing what I have to do is just place this one out of step with the others.
What? You got food? Wait, I'm starving.
What? Okay. So no, I can't do that. I think so. It's obviously some kind of trick about which mimic is placed here. What if I try this one? So 1, 2, 3, 4. God. Okay. So it's this one should be. This is all. It's all very strange. Strange stuff. Let me think. Because if we do something like... So this one is number 6. So number 2, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 3. So if I step, then number 2 will step. That doesn't matter. Number 3 will step. So I'll be disarmed, so I need to make sure. This is really weird stuff. Really weird stuff. So I think what will happen. Disarm, token disarm. Okay, what if I place one like that, like that, like that, and like that? No. So it needs to become one that's... So if we number the movements 0 through 4, with 0 being my move and 4 being the last mimic's move, then we need to make sure that the process of disarming the mimic's movements must be even at all times. If it's even, then that means if I step forward, I have to, it's so weird trying to figure this out. So this is what the original one we tried. And the reason this doesn't work is because this one is 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can see it becomes odd. And so we need it to become even. I'm not sure if my explanation is making any sense, but basically it means that what we have to do is that first of all, if an odd number mimic we play, so the first one and the third one will be even in this setup in the first move, and then become odd in the next one, and we have to engineer it so that they stay even. And this one is removed from the pool, which seems like the trick to it. So if this one moves and becomes disarmed, and then all three of these move, then I move disarm, then I think what needs to happen is something like this. Haha, there we go. Can you figure out why all mimics kill the brains directly? Remember to check in what order the mimics move, and also remember that you step on a disarm token first. That top one didn't, I think. Jeez, this is complex. This is really getting kind of ridiculous. If you remember what you learned in the previous rooms, I think you'll be able to clear this room. It's not as hard as it looks. This does in fact look like the last room of this particular level. So let's get the setup. So what's going on here? We've got stuff going on. I do believe. So I'll just place them in order first and we'll see what happens. This is what I mentioned before, is you can learn a fair bit just by jumping in and seeing what causes you to fail. If I do this, and I wait, and then I do that. Weird. Okay. So that didn't work. But we see that three of them got it, and we remember that even numbered mimics behave the same as odd numbered mimics in theory. So these two were in the same, these three were all placed with the same parity, the correct parity, I think. And these two were not. So in theory, if we place this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here, and this one here, we should in fact um, get ourselves the correct outcome. Almost. Okay, we're getting there. Can we back up a little bit? Why did this one escape? That one closes the way out, of course, so we can't do it. As much as I would like to just swing my sword. So let's place this one. Let me play around with something. So this is the one that looks different from the rest. This one caused us problems. What? Hold on, what? I think it was just a matter of waiting. Now look. Now we've got these guys stuck. Why are they stuck? I demand to know. Okay. There we go. Okay. And as much as I do want to be educational, I think I will just leave it to you to try and figure out as much or as little as you want of how the heck all that works. Because this is where it's starting to lose me a little bit. Note from the architect: I'm sure all of this must be very confusing, but you don't have to remember it all. I just thought it would be fun to include this behavior around disarm tokens. I hope these rooms have given you some insight into how the turns are divided and drawed. Man, this game can get complicated if you let it. But hey, that's what's fun about it, right? I do believe, unless I am mistaken, we are ready to depart from this particular level. So, let us make haste in leaving. I don't know why the zigzag was necessary, though. Oh, geez. Not gonna let me out quite yet, are you? Alright, let's see what we got here. Are these just buttons? Just checkpoints, that's all. I'm curious what this says. Oh. just so you don't forget, mimics and decoys are always placed with their swords, even if Beathro is swordless. Clones, however, are always swordless if Beathro is disarmed. Disarm tokens do not toggle. They either disarm or arm you, and all existing mimics, decoys, and clones. They don't disarm those who have a sword, while arming those without one. Makes sense. I guess that's our graduation from learning about disarmed mimics school. Well done. Beathro exited from the disarmed mimics annex, bursting with newfound knowledge. I don't know about you, but I am bursting with newfound confusion. Oh well. Obviously we'd want to be doing this. And then we gotta, hold on. There we go. And there you have it. I hope that you are now enlightened and or confused as I am about the behavior of disarmed mimics, decoys, and others. I will see you on the next level, which, since we now have an established order, we know will be rock golems. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of looking forward to that. See you then.